The Boston Celtics have hit a critical point. With Jason Tatum expected to miss the entire upcoming season due to a severe Achilles injury, their title hopes have come to a standstill. That leaves only one clear option. It's time for drastic decisions. This roster isn't just costly, it's among the most expensive in NBA history, far above the second tax apron. There's no longer any justification for continuing to pay huge luxury taxes in pursuit of a championship that won't come in 2026. That brings us to Kristaps Porzingis, the first piece Boston needs to move. Realistically, Porzingis was a luxury addition even when Tatum was healthy. Now, he's a financial liability. He's set to make over $30 million next season. And while he was instrumental during the 2025 title push, the harsh reality is that he's missed nearly as many games as he's played. His body is unreliable, and counting on him to stay healthy has turned into a risk that no serious contender should take, especially not one already hemorrhaging money. Nostalgia from last season's championship shouldn't cloud judgment. The Celtics managed to win without relying heavily on Porzingis. He only suited up for 7 playoff games during that title run, far from being the foundation of a dynasty. His absence didn't derail Boston then, and that's why now is the right time to trade him before his value disappears completely. One logical trade partner is the Washington Wizards, a rebuilding team that could benefit from veteran experience. Conveniently, they are also the original holders of the Celtics' 2025 second-round pick. If Boston attaches that pick to Porzingis, it might be enough to complete a trade without bringing in contracts that extend past this season. Here's the proposed deal. The Wizards receive Kristaps Porzingis and Boston's 2025 second-round pick. In return, the Celtics get Richaun Holmes, Saddiq Bey, Anthony Gill, Colby Jones, and salary filler. On the surface, this may seem like a basic salary dump, and that's exactly what it is. But it's a smart one. This move cuts $11 million off Boston's payroll, giving them much-needed breathing room. Without this move, their ability to operate in free agency or make future trades would be severely restricted. The incoming players aren't game-changers, but they do add depth in multiple areas, something Boston will need as it loses more bench players than it can afford to replace. Saddiq Bey is the most intriguing asset. He's a proven scorer, having averaged double figures every season. While he's recovering from an ACL injury, his role in Washington has been reduced as younger players have emerged. A trade makes sense for both sides. The Wizards shed a player with limited opportunity, and the Celtics take a low-cost gamble that could yield solid returns if Bey returns to form. Porzingis still delivers solid stats. He consistently averages around 20 points per game. But the league isn't fooled. His market is practically frozen. Teams aren't willing to pay superstar money to someone who can't stay healthy. Boston shouldn't expect to get a star in return, and they shouldn't aim for one either. This move isn't about winning a trade, it's about winning the financial battle. With the Celtics out of the title hunt in 2026, their focus has shifted to survival. Every dollar saved, every smart move made, helps extend their long-term competitiveness. Keeping Porzingis now would be a sentimental, short-sighted mistake, a luxury the Celtics can't afford. If Brad Stevens wants to keep Boston in the championship picture long-term, he must start making tough calls. That includes moving on from Porzingis while he still has any value. Jaylen Brown could be next in line. The Celtics aren't simply limping into the 2026 season, they're barely standing. Tatum's Achilles injury in the Eastern Conference semifinals didn't just end their playoff hopes. It may have shattered the team's entire future. Now, Jaylen Brown finds himself in a difficult position. A lone all-star surrounded by uncertainty and financial strain. Boston's 6-game series loss to the New York Knicks wasn't just a defeat. It was a wake-up call. The team is already stretched past the second tax apron, and without Tatum, the championship dream has faded. Urgency in the front office is at an all-time high. A full-scale reset isn't optional anymore. It's a necessity. In the era of the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, ballooning payrolls are no longer just costly, they're crippling. Boston has a painful decision to make. Either hold on to an aging core with no flexibility or tear it down to build something more sustainable. And Brown, who recently signed the largest contract in NBA history, might be the centerpiece of that rebuild. His trade value is at an all-time high. In a league constantly searching for elite two-way wings, Brown could net multiple first-round picks or a promising young star. Derek White is another potential trade piece, but moving Brown would mark the true end of this Celtics era. Tatum's injury closes one door and opens another. With him sidelined for a year, Boston has a rare opportunity to pivot. Invest in the draft, develop younger players, and reshape the team to center around a fully recovered Tatum in 2027. But that future doesn't include win-now veterans like Brown. It requires patience, pain, and tough choices. Despite the circumstances, Brown hasn't shown signs of wanting out. In a recent interview with NBC Boston at a community event, he spoke openly about his connection to the city. "Boston is my home. I've spent 10 years of my life here," he said. "Even with the noise online and in the media, all I feel in the community is love. That's what matters to me." He talked about fans waiting in the rain just to see him. That kind of support. It means everything. So expect me to give my all next season. I'm taking the reins. That type of loyalty resonates with fans, but sentiment doesn't factor into salary caps. If a team like Houston, Sacramento, or Memphis offers a package filled with picks and talent, Brad Stevens may have no choice but to consider it. Trading Brown would be a massive move, one that would divide the fan base and reshape the franchise's direction. But it might be necessary to escape a financial stranglehold and begin again. Boston isn't simply deciding whether to keep Brown. They're choosing between standing still and making a painful leap into an uncertain future. And, though it's hard to accept, that leap might start with letting go of a fan favorite who never wanted to leave. What's your take on Porzingis heading to Washington? Drop your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned. There's likely more major news on the horizon. The Celtics are standing at a crossroads, and the next few decisions might define the franchise for years. This offseason isn't heartbreaking because of failure. It's devastating because it comes after success. Winning has its price, and for Boston, that price has never been steeper. Forget loyalty, forget emotions. The harsh numbers under the new CBA have Boston trapped. The luxury tax penalties have transformed their championship core into a financial burden nearing $500 million. The front office has been backed into a corner and might now be forced to consider the unthinkable. Trading Jrue Holiday. Yes, even Jrue, Boston's veteran leader, defensive specialist, and locker room stabilizer. He's the type of player every team wants when adversity hits. But none of that matters when you're staring at a crushing payroll and your franchise player is sidelined indefinitely. One path forward is to shed salary while remaining somewhat competitive. That's where the uncomfortable option comes in: sending Holiday to Miami. Yes, that Miami, the bitter rival born in the bubble. Here's the potential deal. The Heat receive Jrue Holiday and Boston's 2025 first-round pick. In return, the Celtics get Andrew Wiggins. On paper, the trade works. Wiggins is younger, under contract, and has shown elite two-way potential when motivated. He's a capable scorer who can defend on the wing and give Boston lineup flexibility, something especially useful with Tatum out. Most importantly, His contract helps Boston breathe easier under the new rules. But from a fan's perspective, it's brutal. Trading Holiday to a division rival risks backfiring in dramatic fashion. No one in Boston wants to see him hitting clutch shots in a Heat jersey come playoff time. Still, the Celtics may be out of options. Brad Stevens isn't working in a bubble. He's operating in a financial war zone, and his job isn't to be popular, it's to keep Boston in the title hunt for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Miami stands to benefit greatly. They've been searching for a steady point guard ever since the Kyle Lowry experiment failed. Holiday fits their culture and playoff identity perfectly. He brings leadership, defensive grit, and late-game poise. For them, it's a home run. For Boston, this trade isn't about immediate improvement, it's about staying afloat. Wiggins doesn't match Holiday's leadership or intensity, but he offers youth, flexibility, and a manageable salary. In today's NBA, that matters more than ever. Make no mistake, this kind of move would sting. It might even fracture the fan base. But these are the cold-hearted decisions contenders must make. Championships aren't won on emotion. They're won with balance sheets. And if Tatum's injury is as serious as feared, the Celtics won't just be trying to stay elite. They'll be fighting just to stay relevant.